Stardom 101.
Stardom 101.
Stardom 101.
Stardom 101.
It's the Stardom 101 Magazine Podcast. Shining light on today's tastemakers
and innovators.
Kicking with your host, Christopher Boykin.
It's the Stardom 101 Magazine Podcast.
Stardom 101 Magazine Podcast here back on iHeartRadio. Thank you guys once again for tuning into our show. The fans have requested that I continue these style of interviews featuring talented individuals. People are on the rise to stardom, really doing amazing things in the background. And today, my guest is Joahna Tupas. We just laughed, guys, about her last name being Tupac. I thought that was so funny. It sounds like Tupac. I said, you know what?
Hi, everyone.
Joanne?
I can say it again. My last name is Tupas. It sounds like Tupac.
I thought that'd be a perfect. I'm doing great. I thought that'd be a great icebreaker. I just like that. That was so beautiful. It caught me off guard, guys. It caught me off guard. Oh goodness, it's so nice to have you, Joahna. How you doing? How's the weather out there? There you go. There you go. How's the weather out there?
I live in northern Arizona, and it has blizzards upon blizzards on us over here.
Oh my goodness!
You know, it's good. It's nice to be warm at home.
There you go.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, absolutely. And for those who don't know, we are going to promote Joanna's talk show. She has some books. She has a courage project, and we want to know about her business. So, without further ado, I'd like to start off, Joanna, if we could, with your new show. There's a new show that you are involved in, of course, on Stage Plus, digital TV called Courage First Talk Show. Let's backtrack a little bit and tell you, let the audience know about the talk show, what kind of talk show it is, number one, and the inspiration behind it.
Sure. So, Courage First Talk Show is one of those talk shows on the Fair channel, which is available on Stage Plus. It's a digital TV, so you download the app, pretty much like downloading apps, Hulu and Netflix, those kinds of things. You just hop on your phone, tablets, laptops, and even on Roku, and just search on Stage Plus. So Courage First started as I did some man on the street time things. I was pretty curious about the virtue courage. I mean, we always talk about compassion and confidence, and of course, those are really, really great virtues. So I really wanted to delve into the importance of courage as a virtue, and I found out one of the cool things. Winston Churchill said that courage is the most important of all values, but it is the one that makes all the other values possible.
Wow.
I mean, that in itself, right? So I'm like, okay, it's the one value that makes all the other values possible. And Aristotle, we know him, science guy. On the one hand, we had this man of faith, right? Fatherhood of faith, talking about courage. And then we have Aristotle, totally different, like very logical, talking about the same thing. He said courage is the first of human qualities because it is the quality which guarantees the others. And so that got me thinking, there should be a culture of courage that we have to start pushing forward. And so I wanted to learn more about it and started going like man on the street type live interviews on my social media, asking different kinds of people from different walks of life what courage is for them and how they implement it. And it was such an outstanding like information and data and input. And I guess, the station caught on. In fact, I spoke on a leadership tour in Michigan State University about this topic of courage. And so On Stage Plus had offered a spot, turning my, man on the street type interviews on social media into an actual TV. So I do have guests on there. Talking about how they implement their lives for radio. Yeah.
Wow, that is pretty cool. And that's a spinoff to your podcast called Courage First Chronicles.
Yes.
Yes.
So I do have a podcast that I am launching.
Mm-hmm.
The TV show is really just a once a month featuring an outstanding uh guest, so to
Mm-hmm.
speak.
Mm-hmm.
And so the podcast, I want it to be more consistent. If we can have twice a week, that would be great because I'm not just learning about courage. The listeners will also learn about the importance of courage.
Wow.
So I thought that that would be really cool to bring into the table.
Yeah, that 1-2 combo punch.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, Courage First talk show, will that be shot in studio? Will you still continue to do those in the street? How does that work? Does anything change now that you have the network involved, which is congratulations, by the way. That's a huge deal.
Thank you.
That's a huge deal, literally.
Yeah, so the pilot episode of the show did come out on the summer. Like I mentioned, it's a once
mm,
a month. It's a 30-minute burst of positivity.
mhm.
Essentially, the Courage First talk show is where we want to dive deep into real life stories of courage. We want to cover everything from career wins, financial savvy, health
Mm,
hacks, whether it's physical or mental health, heartwarming relationship tales, even personal growth journeys. So,
mm.
those real life stories where you can implement courage. Um, our goal really in the TV show or the talk show is to uplift, motivate, and connect with our viewers on a deep and personal level. So if
Nice.
they can resonate with the topics that we're talking about, it can maybe help them realize that they too are living life courageously or can live life courageously. They can win in life,
Nice.
whichever aspect that may be. Yeah.
Fantastic. I like that. Yeah, that's awesome. Awesome. And you're also a best-selling author as well. For those who don't know, we have some books we like to discuss. Not all who wonder are lost. Let's start with that one first. Can you give us some
Sure.
kind of time frame of when, how much time you put into that project or that piece of literature to make it materialize?
So I spoke in one of the summits in Mexico last year, February, and I was talking to a crowd of international families, and one of the topics that I had attended in that summit was about this woman and her courage to face grief and loss.
Mm,
It got me thinking that a lot of us are actually at one form or another facing some form of grief due to loss.
hmm
And the kind of courage that we have to display and apply and implement in our lives to keep going.
hmm
And so that concept, that book, Not All Who Wander,
hmm
WADER, like wander, like moving around, are lost.
mm,
And it's really about tales of different kinds of people who have found healing from grief and loss through travel.
wow.
And so that's the perspective of that because a lot of us, you know, we travel due to different reasons and perspective. A lot of us do it for recreation and entertainment to just get a break from life. Well, life as we know it, right?
Correct. Yeah, you're right.
And so, or like just to break uh the daily routines that we have. We just want to get away. But there are a lot of us who do it with a different kind of purpose. And so
Mm-hmm.
I realized that I did so my chapter in that book is called The Travel Therapist.
Mm-hmm.
And I found that I use travel as my therapy for healing.
Wow,
Uh,
that's good.
Trauma, yeah, lots of trauma. And, get being in a new place, meeting new people, being immersed in a different culture, and really like you try to get lost, but essentially in getting lost, metaphorically speaking,
Mm-hmm.
find yourself. And
Mm.
there's beauty in that.
Oh
And
yeah.
it's pretty cool because a lot of people seem to have connected with the stories, and it quickly became a bestseller. In fact, it's available not just in Amazon, in Walmart and different bookstores, and it's been bought not just here in the US, it's available in the UK and different kinds of continents too.
Beautiful.
So we're grateful that those stories are helping people realize that there's healing in travel.
Absolutely. That's fantastic. World Schoolers. I like that title. Let's talk about that. I said, ooh, I like that. World
Yeah.
Schoolers, innovative parents turning countries into classroom. Now, please give me more information on that.
So, yes, so thank you.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't notice, I'm quite a traveler by heart. I love
Uh-huh.
to travel. I am a parent. My son, he's just turned a teenager. I mean, I can't even believe it. How fast is
How fast is that,
right?
right? Stop the clock. My goodness.
Wait a minute.
Yes. Well, goodness.
So I wanted to give a different kind of education for my son when he
Mm-hmm.
was. I didn't want him to just sit in a classroom for like half his life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I realized that you learn more with experience.
Uh-huh.
And when you're asked, and I'll ask you this, Christopher,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
like when you were a student, what was one memory that you've retained being in school? Hmm.
Yeah. Hmm. I guess
I,
that's the
I bet
answer.
yeah, no, but like seriously, I
Yeah,
bet
you're
it's
right.
if you guys, just kind of messing around
Yeah.
classroom, your friends, it's not even like the mathematical equation on the board. It's
No,
the experience
it's the
had.
experience. You're right. Absolutely.
Yeah, and you learn from that,
Hmm.
and you grew from that. And so I wanted to give a different perspective with my son. And so I thought that experiential education was the way to go.
Hmm.
So even at an early age of 2, I would take my son traveling, and we would learn about math or numbers, taking our steps to the beach, or we would learn about letters from signages on the road, or he learned his pluses by
Mm.
picking fishing out dried leaves off of a
Oh,
pond. So
nice.
just all these concepts, and I realize there are some concepts that it's better to be learned from books because books are very important. It
Hmm.
opens your imagination. But so world schooling is now officially a term, but
Wow.
back then I didn't realize that I was world schooling my child.
Wow.
It's really opening up the world to him, using the world as a big classroom. It's not just a playground now. Anything and anywhere is a learning opportunity. And so there were I think 21 authors that had been world schooling their children. And so this book gives you a perspective on how to do that. And,
Hmm.
like, even if like I'm a teacher by profession, and
Hmm.
I implement experiential education and character education in the classroom. So
Hmm.
that gives even the teachers in brick and mortar schools some perspectives on how they can maybe incorporate the concepts of world schooling. I mean, especially today,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Like
Oh yeah.
internet everywhere, like bring your laptop, open
Hmm.
it from the front of the beach, and
Hmm.
just I think the landscape of education has changed
Oh,
after the
absolutely. After the pandemic. Oh, absolutely. Groundbreaking. Absolutely. Yeah.
yeah. So I think more parents are now becoming more open to the fact that they don't have to be scared
Hmm.
to their child's teacher, and there
Hmm.
are opportunities to do that.
Fantastic. The Courage Project, a social campaign. I like to talk about that and dive into that. 4 million stories of courageous lives, and in order to encourage a generation of courageous leaders. I love that tagline. The Courage Project in itself, do you plan to expand it? Can we elaborate on that to other types of organizations? Is there any type of expansion ideas or plans around the Courage Project?
Yeah, so like I mentioned, courage has become such a pivotal role. Even when I was word schooling my son,
Mm-hmm.
I really wanted to raise a child or a next generation leader.
Mm-hmm.
So to for my son, a child who is not only confident and compassionate, but also courageous,
Mm.
pursuing opportunities and safeguarding the welfare of others and self. Not just solving problems and innovating, but being able to open up opportunities that change his circumstances in life.
Mm-hmm.
That's the power of courage, really, the power to chase after things that are important to you. And so life really requires courage. So Courage Project is a social campaign.
Mm-hmm.
It allows people to share their own stories, and I really wanted to put together 1 million stories. It's a part of my research to
Mm-hmm.
learning more about courage as a human trait and factor. I think we're all courageous by nature,
Mm-hmm.
and we just don't realize a lot of it. And some people
Ah.
they equate courage in a very negative tone.
Mm.
And don't get me wrong,
Mm-hmm.
YOLO, YOLO, you only live once. And
What?
so,
Mm-hmm.
uh, right. And some people, why they say YOLO, I'm just going to do this because I only live once.
Correct.
But then, whatever they're doing is kind of, is it politically correct to say dumb?
Exactly. Yeah.
Like,
Call it what it
that's
is.
right. Like that's dumb. But I don't think that's courageous.
Mm-hmm.
Their courage is such a unique virtue, and I
Mm.
really want to get into the heart of it. And
Mm.
so the Courage Project is really allowing me to unfold through this research from real people
Mm-hmm.
how their inspiring stories of courage can encourage a courageous generation. Not just YOLO doing dumb things.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but like really people that are forcefully advancing
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
for the good. So this is really by the millions movement through stories of courage. If I may, I'm actually this is all this data is all going to fall into a book that I'm currently writing.
Mm-hmm.
Is that okay if I share this
Oh,
too?
please. Yes, please plug it. It's current. Plug it.
Thank you. Right. It's really the title of the book, and it's coming out late this year.
Mm-hmm.
It's called The Courage Quotient.
Okay.
We have the intellectual quotient, the
IQ, EQs. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so I'd like to bring onto the table the courage quotient.
Ah.
Yeah. And so it's really about shaping future leaders
Mm-hmm.
shaping future leaders with bold love and wisdom.
Nice, nice, nice. I like that. And
Mhm.
yeah, and that's coming at the end of this year, maybe the fourth quarter around before the holiday time. You're thinking maybe you have a time frame?
Yeah, so I'm hoping to release it around October,
Oh,
uh,
perfect.
between October and December, because this might be a great gift.
Yeah, exactly. There we go.
Like end of the year kind of read,
Uh-huh.
start the new year in a different light and perspective. But really, this book I want it to serve as a transformative guide for each individual,
Mm-hmm.
and it's going to be dedicated to fostering the next generation of courageous leaders. So
Fantastic.
blueprint that intertwines the principles of bold love.
Mm.
Love that just and moves, not just those feely, washy. But I'm sorry, some of my songs are about like bump, bump, bump.
Yeah.
But it's really that bold love, that force that drives you, and of course, you couple that with wisdom.
Absolutely. Well, Joahna, I am convinced, I know my listeners are, people are going to want to book you for some international speaking. If they need a life coach, you also do consulting, educational consulting as well. What is the best way for listeners to get involved for speaking engagements, life coaching, consultations with you? How can they follow up and literally get some of this transformative courage embedded in them? Because I love it. I think it's a great thing.
Thank you. So my company is called School in a Backpack. In essence, life is an entire school, and we only need one backpack, that is courage, to graduate from it with, hopefully. And so if you can visit schoolinabackpack.com, all of my socials are there, my email is there, and you can even contribute to the Courage Project. It's all in there. You can write your story, upload a video, provide a link. And so all my speakerships are there. So if you ever want to attend some, and if you want to reach out for workshops or, for speaking, I'm very happy to connect with you. Again, it's schoolinabackpack.com.
Fantastic. There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard from her yourself. I heard it. Joahna Tupas is here. Transformative. I heard game changing. I heard innovative from you. I love that you're zoning in on this courage thing. I think it's something that is critical. People overlook it. But you've seen something. I'm like, aha. And I think you're definitely on to something big. I see other organizations want to do a lot of business with you, Joahna.
Thank you. I do hope so.
Yes. Very, very, very good. I appreciate it so much. Thank you for being my guest feature of today on this On the Rise episode. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, Joahna Tupas. She is an innovator. She is an international speaker, best-selling author, life coach, educational consultant. I can go on and on. A parental mentor. This lady is doing something that is very, very, very big, and I think a lot of people are going to get hip to it. I think so.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I think they're going to come. Yes, they're going to come knocking, Joahna. I see it.
Thank you.
Yes, you were definitely ahead of your time. I'm listening to your story. I say, and this world is, they don't jump on things until it's popular, right? Or today, but you are ahead of your time. I'm seeing what you have. Yes, you are, and it's making a difference. It's real. And it's changing lives. Seriously. I just want to give you that words of encouragement and love. Love what you're doing. I think it's game changing. It's healing. It's therapeutic, and it makes a difference. And I'm saying that from me to you. I appreciate it. It was a very honor interviewing you today and getting this message out there. For people who are listening, please visit her website. Her social media links and information, website links will be in the show notes of this episode, so you can reach out to her directly. Please do so. It's Stardom Magazine, iHeartRadio. Thank you, guys. Joahna, it's been a pleasure. I appreciate you, sister. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Christopher. Thanks, everyone.
All right. Have a good day.
Are you on the rise to stardom? Well, get featured in the next issue of Stardom101 Magazine and promote your business or products today. Text MAG to 804-550-8647 or visit stardom101mag.net.
You're listening to the Stardom101 Magazine Podcast with Christopher Boykin. Be sure to subscribe and download this episode, and continue to listen to Stardom on iHeartRadio or wherever you get your podcasts.